Hi, I'm Pastor Michael Schmidt, and a most blessed Ash Wednesday to you. Our Lenten series this year is the story of Joseph in the book of Genesis. We'll be looking at portions of the story each Wednesday night at our midweek Lenten services. Tonight, on this Ash Wednesday, we begin by looking at Genesis 37, which really sets the stage for what follows. I say it sets the stage, but it is sort of a difficult question about where the actual account of Joseph starts. Joseph is born a few chapters earlier, but we're still in the midst of the story of Jacob and Esau, and so it's kind of Joseph is there, but the main focus is on Jacob. So Genesis 37 is what we'll look at tonight, but Genesis 36 really closes off the story of Esau. And so the Joseph story really picks up steam in 37 when we close off the story of Esau and then just focus on Jacob's family, and particularly, for our purposes, Joseph. But perhaps a better place to start the story is in Genesis 35. Genesis 35, beginning at verse 16. Then they journeyed from Bethel. When they were still some distance from Ephrathah, Rachel went into labor, and she had hard labor. And when her labor was at its hardest, the midwife said to her, "Do not fear, for you have another son." And as her soul was departing, for she was dying, she called his name Benoni, but his father called him Benjamin. So Rachel died, and she was buried on the way to Ephrathah, that is Bethlehem. And Jacob set up a pillar over her tomb. It is the pillar of Rachel's tomb, which is there to this day. The story of Joseph probably best begins here, with the death of his mother, the death of Rachel. The story of Joseph really ties in with the story of his father, Jacob. We know Jacob is the son of Isaac, and Jacob and Esau struggled and fought over the birthright. Jacob stole the birthright, ran away to his uncle Laban. And then at Laban, he worked and stayed there. But of course, Laban tricked him, got him to marry Leah first, and then married Rachel second. But he really loved Rachel a lot more than he loved Leah. So the story of Joseph is really the story of his father and his constant favoritism of one over the other. He favors Rachel over Leah. So we know that must have been a difficult situation, causing much stress in Rachel's life. And of course, how does Rachel solve this problem? When she is barren for a time, she gives Jacob her servant, who has children with Jacob. And then, of course, Leah runs out of children, so she gives Jacob her servant, and then Rachel finally bears children. So it's really, and then Jacob favors Rachel, and then he favors the children that Rachel bears. And who are the children that Rachel bears? Well, they're Joseph and Benjamin. And we see in Genesis 37 that Joseph is the favorite child. He is the one who gets the coat of many colors. He is the one that is truly loved. And, when they throw him into the pit and then the brothers come back, Jacob even says, what do I have left? My only son died. Well, that's not entirely true, Jacob. You had 12 children. While you certainly grieve that one son, he wasn't your only son. You do have 11 others. How did that make the brothers feel? And of course, later in the story, when the brothers are going to Egypt, then they come back, and Joseph tells them, you must bring Benjamin back if you want any more grain. Again, Jacob says, I don't have any other children. What happens if I lose Benjamin? This is really the parenting style of Jacob leaves much to be desired, and that really sets the stage for what's going to happen. What really sets the stage for Genesis 37 is the death of Rachel. Now, if Rachel had lived, who knows what would have happened? Who knows how parenting would have gone then? But, she dies here in Genesis 35 while giving birth to Benjamin. And the result is the wife is dead. The mother is dead. So all that love then goes to the children that she bore, Joseph and Benjamin. And the brothers, the children of the two servants, the children of Leah, are left in the cold, fostering, breeding anger, hatred in them, animosity that's only heightened by the coat of many colors and by all that happens that Joseph brings upon himself. Tonight we'll look at Genesis 37. We gather at 7 o'clock here at Peace Lutheran Church in Natoma. We invite you to join us. Each Wednesday we'll try to post a video on Wednesday morning that covers the intermediate sections. We'll cover the sections between what we're reading this week and what we're reading next week. We'll cover in that video. So we look forward to it and very excited about this series and hope you can join us. The story of Joseph is very familiar to us, but very powerful, very appropriate for us on this Lenten time. May the Lord bless your day.